Just year two, and it's been a remarkable to witness what he and his staff have done with this group and putting all these pieces together and the success that they've had.
Speaking of standalone, we're all alone tonight in the MAC, and we are underway here in North Andover. Marist controlling the tip. Take a look at the starting lineups in a moment here. That the 5 for this Marist team is noticeably without Elijah Lewis, as you mentioned off the top. Menard does earn a trip to the line here early. There's the rest of the 5. JCR, as they call him, Schofield. Blackwell will make his first start of the season, and Daughtry is in there as well.
Merrimack, same 5 all year. John, we talked about this. They've been very lucky. Obviously, this is a group that logs a lot of minutes. Very talented, and they have been healthy throughout.
And, of course, the starting lineups brought to you by the Air Force Reserve. Ready for more? Join the Air Force Reserve. Visit airforce.com. And already you're seeing the inflatables blown up. You haven't seen them yet, but this Merrimack event staff has gone above and beyond here. They've got the blow-up figurines.
See at the top left of your screen
you see them working in and out of the screen.
And this, I think it was adopted. St. John's has done this down in Madison Square Garden over the last handful of games. Obviously, huge win against UConn. And why not the blue and gold inflatables adding to the dynamic in the atmosphere here at Lawler.
So Menard starts with a pair of free throws, and Kennedy gets right to the basket on the other end to even us at 2.
Nice little rub action there for Kaveri. Turn the corner and get downhill with a strong hand for the game's first points for Merrimack.
Schofield inside, and he puts it up and in. He's a target for this team against Merrimack's zone. He plays in the middle. He's had a couple nice games in his career against the Warriors.
Yeah, he's played really well, and he's a very talented scorer, especially in the high post.
Speaking of talented scorers, Shelton takes his first 3 off the mark. This Marist team, we talked about the defense. Lob on the back end for Daughtry, caught there from JCR. Collins Roberts with a perfect setup.
That's a great way to beat the zone. You pin that back end of it, you set that screen, you bury it, you throw it up, send somebody to go get it. Good start here on the road for Marist.
I was going to say, this defense has really been the calling card for this team this season for Marist. But getting it done here early offensively. Kennedy back out to Shelton. Kennedy works around the Dorsett screen out of the basket, kicks it back out. Marrero on the wing for 3, knocks it in. Andres Marrero with his first knockdown of the night.
That's a great job by Kennedy. John, late in the shot clock. I think most point guards, they force something to the rim there. He kicks it out to Marrero, uncontested, knocks it down.
Collins Roberts and Menard up top. 2 of them both averaging better than 3 assists per game. Here's Menard to the corner with it. Blackwell on the pump. Takes a step inside. It got altered by Dorsett. Warriors outrunning. It's Marrero in transition. Finds Shelton for the trailer 3, and it's short.
Ty Dorsett is among the best defensive wings that we have seen from Merrimack in quite some time. He is elite on that back zone.
How about that pass from Menard? Just a little touch. Schofield cutting right to the basket.
I'll say this. It seems as though Marist has a plan tonight against the zone. They do not look frazzled. The first time these two teams squared off, Merrimack used a 15-2 run in the second half, en route to a 13-point win. I thought Marist was frazzled. Tonight, they look much more efficient, much more effective in the face of this Merrimack zone defense.
Brogna at the offensive end. Finds Dorsett on the bounce. Dorsett kick to the corner. Kennedy for 3, and Kader Kennedy knocks in his first triple. The air guitar Selly comes back, and we're tied at 8.
8th made 3 of the year. He's not a high-volume shooter, John, but he shoots it at a good clip. Uncontested, he'll take that look all day.
Menard steps inside. He puts it up and finds it after a nice friendly bounce. Menard averaging better than 11 points per game.
You could tell he's sort of bouncing around. He's trying to lead them. Again, with Lewis out with the injury, he is stepping up and assuming that leadership role for this Marist team.
A foul is called here. Kennedy got trapped. Take another look at the alley-oop earlier. Marist getting out here flying early.
Well, you see the front. You see Todd Brogna come up in front the post. Shelton sort of caught forward there watching it. And at the other end, Kennedy relocating there to the corner, making himself available for a nice triple try.
Just his 8th made 3 of the year, shooting at about 32%. Doesn't take them very often. Back out to Dorsett and a travel.
Not sure he traveled there. It looked sort of awkward, but Evan Burrows calls him for the violation. Ball goes back to Marist. And interesting, we expected this, John, to be a low-scoring tilt with these two outstanding defenses. So far, offenses have been the story.
You mentioned Evan Burrows, Jeffrey Clark, the referee, and Ryan Corbett, the final of the three-man crew here this evening.
Good group in the house.
And the only MAC game on the men's side tonight, pretty full women's slate. Rest of the men's games will be tomorrow evening. Collins Roberts from the corner, off the front of the rim. Marrero grabbed the rebound. Dorsett running right down the floor, lost his balance, just threw it up to Kennedy. Kennedy trapped amongst three, finds Brogdon at the three-point line. Too strong. Kennedy almost had the offensive rebound, but got it to Brogdon somehow. Now Kennedy gets left alone. Defense comes over, and Parker commits the foul, which will send Kaveri Kennedy to the line. We'll take a quick break. A 10-8 start for Marist. These two offenses out here running.
Short list of student athletes that deserve serious consideration.
And he heads to the line here for his first two free throw attempts of the game. He has now attempted 195 free throws this season, 13th best in the country. When you look at them as a total this year, they've already eclipsed their free throw total from last year by 65. Him and Shelton are 1 and 2 in the conference.
Shelton's been outstanding about drawing contact on those three-point attempts we've talked about throughout the course of the season. And obviously, Kaveri Kennedy, his ability to use his body and his footwork around the rim has really put himself in great position to get to the free throw line, get those and-one opportunities, and obviously among the league leaders in scoring.
He's got 7 of the first 10 for the Warriors. Nice knockdown there from Rajon Blackwell. Going to play a lot more as a starter here without Elijah Lewis available, making his first of the year tonight.
Good start for Marist here, John. 5 for 7 in the first 4.5 minutes from the floor. They've come out very hot.
Dorsett off the handoff from Brogdon. Thought he got fouled. He hit the deck. Marist running in transition. It's Menard looking up the floor and out of the corner. Blackwell back down to Schofield. Turnaround baby hook rattles out. The offensive rebound fought for by Parker, but ends up in the hands of Dorsett.
Marist transition defense has been very good thus far. They're doing a very good job of sprinting back down the floor.
What a move by Kennedy, but at the back end of it, it was the block by Parker, or rather that's Collins Roberts. Now Blackwell down the floor. Pass to the corner, entry feed to Schofield. Back up top for JCR.
I'll tell you, the way Marist is attacking the zone, they look like a different group than the last time we saw these two teams square off back in mid-January.
Menard, nice backdoor find, but Brogdon with the rejection on Blackwell goes right to the corner for Parker, who knocks down the three. 36% shooter from out there. It's his 22nd of the year.
Yeah, the freshman getting a big opportunity here with Lewis down, playing more minutes, and good-looking stroke there with his first attempt in that right corner.
It's an early 15-10 lead for Marist. Marrero pump fake. One more to Shelton up top. The three on the way, no good. This is a notable start for Marist, too, because all the other teams lately that have come in here have gotten run out of the gym in the first half.
Took the words right out of my mouth, my friends.
Blackwell for Schofield. Nice adjustment in and out. Gets his own miss. No good on the second. The rebound to Marrero.
And that's a good job by Schofield, yes, but he avoided contact with both those shots. He's just got to go up, draw the contact, and go to the free throw line, potentially an and one. Obviously didn't make either.
Warriors working around the outside. Shelton tried to go behind his back. Slipped a little bit. Ball ends up off his foot. Red Fox in transition. Menard right from the elbow. No good.
And Marist, interestingly, John, they look very comfortable to play an up and down style, which is a little bit atypical of how they tend to play.
Kennedy working on Schofield. Has the mismatch now with the big. Gets inside. Now kicks back out. Brogdon. Shot clock at 10. Brogdon. No good on the three. Warriors have taken 8 threes out of their first 10 attempts.
Yeah, and you got some tired bodies. Right now, this pace has gotten to both teams. Marist has gone a little bit deeper into their bench, but some tired athletes out there right now.
Now you got a foul in the corner. Shelton's going to hit Parker on the three-point attempt. So Parker will go to the line here for 3 free throws to try to make this an 8-point lead. Have a look at the defense that ends up as a three-pointer.
Good job by Marist sticking with it, right? You don't get rattled, you stay with the play. Hey, something bad happens, good defensive play, gather it, grab that loose ball, pitch out, it's the best time, scramble situation, shooter runs to the corner. Good job by the freshman.
Parker, 18 of 19 at the line so far this season after make. This Marist team is shooting over 80%. They're third best in the NCAA.
It is a remarkable, the guys at the free throw line, the job that they do. And this guy, chief among them, Ian Blackwell, right around 95%. And there's something you don't see every damn miss.
In our first look at Casey Uwakazi for the Warriors. If you're new to checking out Merrimack, they will only play about 6 or 7 players tonight as we take a look at the inflatables there. That's what these Marist free throw shooters are dealing with. Parker does knock down 2 out of 3.
How great is that?
It's a 7-point Marist lead.
And they got the student help down there. Yep. They're on top of it. They're pulling them down. Once guys step away from the free throw line, they're all over it.
Added a couple of jobs for the game day operations.
We got dunkers coming up at halftime. Is that air dunkers? Is that what's coming up?
Another great night of promotions here. More giveaways. Kennedy working on Menard. Mid-range jumper, too strong.
Menard did a good job there to move his feet and contest that elbow jumper.
Menard was at Iona last year. Comes into the program this year, and JCR was kind of the point guard a year ago. Now they're both handling duties as Blackwell knocks down a 3. He's got the highest percentage, near 37% for them, and it's a 10-point Marist lead.
This Marist group has come out playing with a passion at both ends. I've been impressed how hard they're playing right now, and they're playing well.
Shelton gets a loan for the 3-point try, and he answers at the other end. It's a big knockdown for Ernest Shelton. Warriors continue to take far majority of their shots from deep.
Yeah, their average 24 three-point attempts per game. It's just about 46% of their field goal attempts on the year are from beyond the arc. And Shelton, obviously a high-volume shooter. Huge for Merrimack to see him knock one down.
Kawa at the other end, no, but the follow from Daughtry, yes.
Jaden, Daughtry, get up and get down. The senior from Queens hanging in the air there and finishing with 2 hands.
Their leading rebounder on the season. Uwakazi looking for an answer at the other end, and good rotation from Daughtry.
That's a good job by Daughtry. And Uwakazi didn't love it. It was a hard foul. That was a good job.
And I think Daughtry
there was no malicious intent. He just wanted to make sure he didn't get a dunk. Didn't try to hurt him, anything like that. And then, as you said, tempers flared a little bit there. But a good job by student athletes and coaches, both getting there to sort of separate things, make sure things didn't escalate, and the officiating crew as well.
Also at that end of the floor, you've got to deal with whatever group of fans that's become kind of regular. So we've got to come up with a name for that fan section, I think.
They're working on something. We've heard that they've met with athletic director Joe Foley and his crew about what the student section is going to be called.
Joe Foley in the house tonight after a trip out west.
Hardest working man in the building.
Not kidding. 3-point try off the front of the rim from Kawa. Merrimack running here in transition. Uwakazi vying for position. The pass goes across to Shelton, now reset up top.
Again, Marist, good job defensive transition, getting back down the floor, preventing Merrimack for any opportunity there early in the possession.
Down to 10, Dorsett using Uwakazi, now dribbles back towards the middle. Nice hop step, and he earns himself a trip to the line now as well. It's another one on Daughtry. Only the 4th foul against Marist, but the 2nd on Daughtry.
It's interesting, we spoke with Joe Gallo earlier this week, and he talked about this Merrimack bunch is really good late in the shot clock. They're averaging over a point per possession when they shoot in the final 10 seconds. They're actually among the nation's leaders in points per possession when they shoot it under 10 on the shot clock. You saw an example of it there. Ty Dorsett maintaining his dribble, getting into the paint, and earning a trip to the line.
Sophomore guard shooting 81% from the line. Misses the front end of the 2 free throws. Had 18 points in the win against Ryder last weekend. A couple of really nice wins on the road for this Merrimack group.
I know you're a huge fan of his, John, but obviously Kaveri Kennedy, Ernest Shelton get a lot of the headlines, but Ty Dorsett's importance to this Merrimack team's success this year cannot be understated. Both ends of the floor, a glue guy, a guy who does a little bit of everything. We talked about his defensive prowess. He has been so good this year for this group.
His versatility gives Coach Gallo a lot of flexibility as well. Yeah. JCR up top has that one deflected by Kennedy. Into the hands of Kabamba. Now it's Kawa again. JCR outside under 10, tried to skip it out to the wing. Kennedy got a hand on it, and then a kickball called. And Kennedy trying to get his team fired up here, making some stuff happen at the defensive end.
It's interesting, John. The first time these two teams met back on Martin Luther King Day, I thought Marist, their spacing was really poor, quite frankly. I thought they allowed the zone to sort of dictate to them where they went on the floor. Tonight, Marist did a very good job using the entirety of the court and the half court. They're really flooding this left side of the zone, and they're trying to win numbers on that side. But more importantly, their spacing has been much better. It's a big reason why I think they have a 7-point lead.
That was the first turnover, too, which always helps when you're not turning the ball over against this Warrior team. And we're going to get a call here, offensive foul.
I'll tell you this, Marist has been asking about that since early on in this contest, saying Kavera's getting away with a little bit of discard. And that time, the official, they said, yep, that's too much on that off-arm little chicken wing. Get rid of the defender. Defender's got a right to that space, just like Kennedy does.
Now, Marist has been scoreless since we came out of the second media timeout. The lead is still 7 for the Red Foxes, halfway through the first half. JCR inside, skips it to the corner. Parker gave it away, trying to throw it back across. Brogna, an easy one. Kennedy flying down the floor, and an easy finger roll.
And that's what you talk about in transition, right? It's a 1v3. Kennedy likes his chances, gets downhill, good little step, and finish with the left hand.
Kennedy, a career-high 25 in the game at Mount St. Mary's last weekend. Off to a great start here. This evening, we had a traveling violation on the Red Foxes. It's a 5-point game. Merrimack will take over.
And you talked about it. Marist was not turning it over the first 10 minutes or so. Consecutive trips with takeaways. More importantly, live ball turnover, transition opportunity. Marist can't get their defense set.
They didn't have a turnover the first 10 minutes. They've had 3 straight possessions now with one.
Oh, I said 2. I didn't give enough credit.
You forgot the Brogna interception.
Correct. And now a chance, more importantly, for Merrimack, trailing by as many as 10 in this first half, to cut this lead down even more.
Kennedy's got 9 of the 17 for the Warriors. Using the screen from Ugokazi, a little hesitation. Kennedy right to the basket, a little strong, and the rebound grab by JCR. Right down the floor, amongst the trees, gets swatted. Ugokazi and Brogna both there. I think it was KC with the hit.
Merrimack leads the conference in block shots. That combo gets another one.
Yeah, Brogna has really come on as the season's gone on. KC's been doing it the whole time. Kennedy trying to thread a needle into KC there.
Yeah, good double there on that ball screen by Marist.
Schofield picked up the dribble after 1. Finds Menard on the wing. McKenzie, another guy that we'll probably see a little bit more minutes. Parker from the corner, that same spot he hit from earlier. Got knocked down again. Here comes transition. Dorsett flying high for the lay-in.
Yeah, Menard wanted no point of that action, and another transition opportunity. That's why I say Marist, they've got to get back down the floor. Those live ball turnovers, those long jump shots, Merrimack outstanding in turning them into points the other way.
Menard no good on the 3. Schofield trying to wrestle the offensive rebound down, and he does grab it. A foul called after the fact.
There's this long shot leading to a run-out opportunity here. Good advance by Kennedy and Ty Dorsett. You see Menard just running through sort of a drive-by. No challenge. Didn't want to give him an and-one opportunity. At the other end, Schofield, the offensive rebound, and he goes to the line.
Scoreless for the last 3:38 of gameplay have been the Red Foxes. Now Schofield heads to the line. 67% on the year.
You touched on earlier, man. If this guy played Merrimack every night, he'd be all world. He plays his best basketball against the Warriors.
I asked Coach Gallo, I said, is that just a case of trying to let somebody else beat you? And I think he said, you know, if a guy who averages 8 a night in the middle can go off and everybody else is contained, it's not the end of the world. At a career-high 17 against the Warriors a year ago, he splits the pair.
Well, and ultimately, Schofield, where he's really good, is in that high post. And that can be an area where if you don't put a shooter there, something like that, Merrimack will at times give that opportunity up. Obviously, they try to take away the three-point shot. They'll sort of give that up. They want to contest those twos in the painted area. And they're going to discard here on Dorsett.
That's 2 straight fouls. He picked up the foul at the other end, and now he picks up the offensive foul. So Marist gets the free throw to halt the skid. They score them 9-3, but it's kind of of slowed down. A lot of momentum early, adrenaline pumping. Now everybody has relaxed a bit.
Water sort of finding its level as this first half goes forward.
Good way to put it. Menard on the hop step finds the pass down low. One more for Kabamba. Goes high off the glass to lay it in.
Not sure Kabamba gathered that all the way. Maybe got a little bit lucky. Seemed like he sort of lost control of it on the way up, but found a way to get it down with the left hand.
They're working on the crossover up top to Dorsett for the three. No good. And it's going to be a foul on Brogna here, trying to go over the back. That's the 6th team foul against Merrimack.
A bit of a nickel timer, but it did appear as though he climbed the back of the Marist player trying to grab that offensive rebound. There's the guy falling down, but a good scramble behind him by Marist. And there you see Brogna. Good job on the checkout there by JCR.
Kabamba bounces one up top. JCR, the three-point try from straight on, well off the mark.
It's a hard thing to do, man. You recognize you're open, you tee it up. You're not in rhythm.
Dorsett, pump fake. Brogna steps into the three, no good. Warriors just 3 of 11 from deep to start.
11 of their 17 attempts thus far, John, have been from distance. Now, they're a high-volume three-point shooting team, as we talked about. That's about 2/3 of their shots right now from beyond the arc, and not shooting it at a high clip, and it's a big reason why Marist has a 6-point advantage.
Backdoor find of McKenzie, back out from Menard now. Dribbles baseline.
Teams to flood this left side.
Menard, Kabamba inside, no good.
They must have seen something on film. I mean, that is clearly a point of emphasis for them tonight, is that left side of the floor for Marist to operate in the offensive end.
Skip, corner three try from Marrero, and it would have been perfect if he made it because he had John Dunn kind of putting his hands up like, where's the coverage?
Right in front of him, and that's a break for Marist. Marrero, way too good a shooter to let him get a look like that.
Warriors struggling from the field here. 6 of 18, most of those coming from three. Kabamba gets stripped inside. Marrero hits the deck and gets tied up with McKenzie. A timeout, though, is called first by Joe Gallo. So the jump ball will not be called. Possession arrow stays with Merrimack, and they will get possession here.
That's a great job by Marrero, hustling.
Yeah, Elijah unfortunately getting hurt at the game at Fairfield last weekend. We were told before the game today that he is out for the season, so our thoughts with Elijah on a quick recovery, a guy who transferred in from the NE10 after a lot of success at Adelphi for a couple years.
As recently as earlier this week, they were hoping to get him back, and just got the word today, as you said.
Casey Wakazi with a nice step through to the basket, lays it in off the window.
That part of his game was not here in the first semester, John. I mean, his ability to create space, use the dribble, go to his offhand and finish off glass, his offensive game has grown massively here over the course of the season.
It's worth a mention every game, too. Joe Gallo calls him a spirit animal for good reason. And you get the foul on the floor here. Marrero thought he had a strip and an easy one for Caver at the other end.
Yeah, and Merrimack struggling in the half court. They wanted to run that opportunity. Here you go. You just go to work. And I will say, one of the knocks on Schofield is that he's not a great lateral defender. He doesn't have great lateral quickness. Here's the strip. Great job by Marrero. Ball being hung out right in front. And then the little nickel dime reach in, preventing what would have been an easy two the other way.
15 foul against Marist. It's a great conversation with Joey Gallo this week about Andres and his role with this team and kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel in his 5th season. What a leader he's been in this group of guys that he didn't know before this past summer and fall. As he knocks down a mid-range right on cue. I can't do this any better.
Scripted, my friend. Scripted right there. And Marrero, his energy at both ends has been very good. Hasn't shot it great, obviously, but really defending it at a high level. Pointing this matchup zone, doing a really nice job up top.
He's got 5 points. Merrimack within 2 here with just over 4 to play in the opening half. Schofield looking for some help. Had a slip outside by Blackwell, gets it to him anyway. Shot clock down to 5, and Marrero picks up the foul.
That's
7th team foul.
That's a bailout 4 on the shot clock. Marist with a 1-on-1 opportunity. That's frustrating because Merrimack did an outstanding job defending it for about 30 seconds. And then the late reach in sends the Red Foxes to the stripe.
And again, a fantastic free throw shooting team. Menard at 91%. And he's not even the team leader. Blackwell shoots 95%.
He's 3rd best.
in the country.
He's third best on his team at better than 90%.
Blackwell is second best in the country.
Yeah.
He's 91%, third best, also behind Parker, who we saw earlier.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
These totals are staggering.
Yes.
I'll never get used to intra-conference transfers. Guy was at Ione last year. Now in year 2, he's at Marist. I mean, you're talking about two schools that aren't separated by that much distance either. It's just very odd circumstances.
Yeah, last year started 8 games, averaged 5.5 a game. Kennedy to Marrero, pump fake. Now Shelton on the handoff from Marrero. Deep 3, no good off the side of the rim, and it goes out. So we reach the final media timeout of this first half. Marist has led the entire way, and they've still got a 4-point lead on the board. We'll take a break. Be back with the conclusion of the first half next.
Both ends, John, and we talked about it. Grad student, first year with the program, coming over from LaSalle. What a job he's done as a leader in his first year with this bunch.
Kickball violation on Kennedy. Now, you said it. I mean, he's only averaging 8 points per game, but he's had some of these games. He had 23 earlier this year against Ryder when he kind of exploded. But he just hits the big shot, it seems like. And he was cold for a few games there, but has really picked it back up. And when he's your 4th guy, I think you're in pretty good hands.
I think you said it well. His baskets seem to come at opportune times for this Merrimack offense.
That's an offensive foul against Schofield. Trying to clear some space inside, and he gets whistled.
They've been consistent, right, with that little chicken wing, that extended elbow. We've seen Kennedy called for it, we've seen Dorsett called for it, and now we see Schofield called for it at the other end.
Just over 3 to play opening half. Brogna with a handoff back to Kennedy. 2-man game between the two of them, and now Marrero the opposite side. Shelton on the drive, nowhere to go. Marrero contested 3! Andres Marrero, his second made triple. He's got 8 first-half points, and the Warriors pull within 1.
And they've struggled to shoot it from distance. That was a disjointed offensive possession. Never got inside the arc. Marrero just making a tough shot.
It's their 4th made 3 on 14 attempts. Blackwell bounces it down to Schofield. Brogna with the block. More of a knockaway than a block.
Todd did a good job to come over, present himself, and just as you said, got lucky there, knocking the ball out of the hands of Schofield.
Kennedy inside, off the glass, too strong. Ugwakazi looking for the rebound. Instead, Kennedy will just strip it back from Schofield, and then up and in for Ugwakazi, the first lead of the night for Merrimack, as this crowd here at Lawler is starting to come to life.
Coach Dunn not wasting any time, using extended up in the air. Great defense, results in points the other way. Obviously Merrimack, their first lead.
And how many times have we talked about Todd Brogna not scoring but doing other things? He's got 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks here in the first half without a point. 2 minutes to go, opening half. Blackwell swings it over, JCR on the drive. Kick back up top, Menard able to extend the hands. Shot clock down to 5, Menard inside. Great bounce pass to Kabamba, but the rejection from behind. And then a foul was called. A little bit of a late whistle there, but it does come.
John, Merrimack averages 4.5 blocks per game. They've got 5 already here in the first half. They are swarming around the rim. The foul against Marist, they're 7th. So we'll walk the length of the floor, and come here, Kennedy with a big smile. The momentum rolling on here for the Warriors.
They've got their first lead, now looking to build on it. What a start from Marist. You really can't overemphasize how big it was to get out to that start they got out to. They led 20-10 at one point.
Don't forget, but now
since then, it's
18
been
to 7.
all Merrimack.
Yeah, I mean, 18-7 since that great start. And I mean, Marist has struggled to score it as of late. They're getting pretty good looks, but again, the ability to alter shots around the rim by Merrimack's defense, has been the story.
Yeah, we said the extended run, it's 9-2 over the last 6 minutes. Now make it 10-2 the run. Kennedy knocks down the first. He's got 10.
Already into double figures, man. Every game but one this year. That was against a pretty good opponent in Auburn, who was Final Four squad a year ago. This young man just continues to impress on a nightly basis. What he's done in his first year in this era of matured, grown, 4th, 5th, 6th year players hanging around and playing college basketball. Man, is he special.
Got a Brendan Johnson sighting for the Warriors. Comes off the bench ahead of Dylan Villette tonight, and Jalen Stinson for that matter, as we get the block or near block from Ugukazi, enough to alter it. Here come the Warriors running. And there's Ugukazi on the find from Kaver. What a block, though, by Kabamba. And then a call on the floor. That was great defense by Kabamba getting back.
I'll tell you, in case you wanted an alley-oop from about mid-court here, and the defense did a good job.
1-and-1 here for Ugukazi. Split the pair earlier.
Not the worst guy to give.
Too strong there.
That's a pretty good give, right? He prevents, obviously, the dunk at the rim, and then you give one a 1-on-1 for not a great free throw shooter. Merrimack comes up with an empty trip.
Bernard inside. Blackwell at the 3, and he knocks it down. It's a big hit for Blackwell to get us back square at 30 apiece.
Yeah, he's had a great first half, 8 points. Really high elevation on his jump shot. Not a big guy, but he gets up there.
Merrimack can play for the 2-for-1 here. 40 to go on the game clock, and a foul call that will send Kennedy to the line for 1-and-1. 38 seconds to go in the half, so they did get the 2-for-1 opportunity.
That's exactly what was going through the mind of Kaver Kennedy right there, John, as well. Just a great job, just putting pressure on the Marist defense, getting downhill and drawing that contact.
Kennedy a perfect 4-for-4 so far tonight.
Putting together another impressive line, and we're still late in the first half.
His next free throw attempt will be his 200th of the season.
Amazing. Guys that don't take 200 free throws in their career. 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals.
He's 4-for-4, 5-for-5 from the line now. He made his only 3-point attempt.
That's a pretty good game total for most guys.
And he's off and cooking again here in the first, so he knocks down both. And Marist will have 30 seconds on the game, on the shot clock, obviously. 38 to go here in the half.
Kennedy had 20 the first time these two teams squared off, and he is playing with a lot of confidence, seeking shots tonight. Sometimes we've seen him look to facilitate early. Today he's looked to assert himself on the offensive end.
That's a errant pass from Parker.
Not great. He was looking for Kabamba. Those two just not on the same page. I think Kabamba flashed to his left, and Parker thought he was going to finish. And the one thing is, you've got to finish your cuts, especially against this zone. If you're going one way, even if you don't get the ball, you've got to keep going, because even if you don't get it, you're going to draw a defender with you.
So Shelton will check back in here for the final possession, as does Brogdon. They get their best offensive options out there. The Warriors will try to hold for the final shot. 2-point lead on the board. They'd like to have it a little bit more of a buffer heading into the halftime break. Dorsett now is 7. Takes the 3 and got it. Ty Dorsett steps to the side, knocks down a 3. Menard, nothing at the buzzer. And Merrimack, who trailed 20-10, ends the half on a 25-10 run.
Well, interestingly enough, I really enjoyed speaking to him earlier this week. Really insightful conversation. Obviously had to mention the Ithaca connection with you, my friend, which really made your day, I know that. And just a really smart basketball mind, and really seemed like really firm grasp. There's a high little screen action for Brogdon. They get him on that little rub screen. An offensive foul to start the second half. And good start here for Marist. It's interesting because you think about Marist, they sort of fell apart in the second half, the first matchup. I think the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, very important for Marist's confidence.
Brogdon with his 4th block. On the other end on the 3-point closeout. Now Kennedy right down the floor, right to the basket, lays it up, somehow finds its way down.
I have no idea how he made that shot. I thought Marist did an outstanding job of altering that shot at the rim. He found and got that down, a nearly impossible angle by the freshman.
And now another giveaway. Ball pops right into the hands of Marrero. Kennedy in transition, and Menard, a really nice play.
really good defensive play there. Might have been JCR that got his hands in there originally. Menard emerges with it. That takes away a sure 2 points.
Back half, and again, the lob on the back end to Daughtry. A very similar lob to what we saw in the first half.
They ran early in the first half. They run it early in the second half.
So Merrimack's 7-point lead was their largest, now back down to 5. Merrimack did not lead until the last couple minutes of that first half. Shelton on the drive. A foul on Schofield called. It'll be just the second on Schofield. Shelton has not been very involved here this evening.
There's this lob in the face of the zone here. They ran it from the same angle in the first half, John. You see Brogna come up to defend Schofield. You send a guy sort of scooting behind the back line of that zone, and thunderous two-hand slam.
Brogna the skip all the way for Shelton. Step back mid-range, and he knocks it down. Just his second made field goal. Nothing about that was easy.
No, that was a very difficult shot. That was well defended. Sometimes good offense just beats good defense.
Schofield inside. No good. Daughtry with the offensive rebound. And right back at Brogna. Now the kick to Schofield in the paint. Flipped it up and no good again.
Seemed like he lost it on the way up. Two good opportunities at it. Marist, their offense, John, we talked about it. They had 20 about 6 minutes into this game. They are struggling to score consistently in the half court.
Yeah, when you put it in that context, just 12 points scored since they led 20-10 at the 7.5-minute mark in the first half. 7.5 minutes into the first half, I should say. Brogna on the drive, the kick from Kennedy, and Brogna gets to the basket. His first made field goal. John Dunn wants timeout as Merrimack has their largest lead of the night. It's a 9-point lead. We'll take a...
Todd Brogna on the defensive end has played a whale of a game.
Yeah, Brogna really, I mean, him and KC Wakazi, put them in the same category, I think, as unsung heroes night to night that maybe don't get all the accolades. There's another takeaway for this Warriors team.
That's the kicked ball, but no call. No argument from Marist either.
It's a 7th steal for Merrimack now.
Again, Marist over the last 12-plus minutes of game time, they've been very sloppy with the basketball.
They looked down, and they did not have any turnovers halfway through the first half. Now they've got double digits. Brogna with the handoff from Marrero. Shot clock winding down. A foul is called on the floor. It's going to go against JCR.
Marrero did a good job there to accentuate the sort of the contact there. It was minimal contact. I thought Andre sort of jumped into JCR, make sure the official knew, hit the deck, and Collins Roberts like, hey, I barely touched him, and I don't really disagree, but to Marrero's credit, made sure everybody in the gym knew he was bumped off his path.
An interesting year for JCR. He's pretty much the main point guard last year, but they bring in Menard, and now he's a little bit of an in-between role. 3-point try from Marrero, trying to stay hot here in the second half, no good.
Marist can string together some better offensive possessions. Got to start with valuing the ball. These can't give it away. They got to get shots, if nothing else.
Entry fee for Kabamba. Now the handoff to Blackwell, leading scorer for this Marist team on the season, and rebound was grabbed by JCR, poked away by Kennedy. Will stay with the Red Foxes.
That's why I sort of said, like, jokingly, just see if they can get shots, because obviously you can make it, but ball gets to the rim, you get an opportunity, you get a second opportunity, as they do here.
Inbound coming.
Look at that student section.
Got a lot of students in the ear of JCR. And he does get it in. 5-second clock was winding down, certainly. Back on ball here. Bounce over to Blackwell. In rhythm, no good on the three.
Again, a possession where obviously you have the second opportunity, but they just play pitch and catch up top. I know he can make that shot, but I think that's a shot that Merrimack will allow. Well contested. Tough three there on that quick trigger.
Marist so far in the half, 1 for 6, just 2 points, first 4 minutes. Kennedy crossing over up top. Dorsett sets up Brogna up top. Marrero back out. Brogna the three is good. Todd Brogna raining one in from deep. The two-man game of Marrero, and the lead has grown to 12. Marist tries the backdoor lob again. Coming down with it was Blackwell. And now a foul called on the floor against Marrero. Merrimack has built the lead up to 12. Their largest of the night. Todd Brogna.
Basketball left to be played, and we should mention exciting times here in North Andover as that huge game between Merrimack and Siena next weekend, next Friday night, has been flexed to ESPNU. Exciting addition for this campus and this program.
Yeah, great recognition. Conference game of the week next week on Friday. I keep saying Thursday, but get the one off the window here for Daughtry. Kind of halts the drought that Marist was in for the last 3.5 minutes.
It's really remarkable. Marist started this game, John, 8 for 16 from the floor since that time, including that last make, just 4 for 18. They have gone totally cold offensively. A lot of the credit goes to the Merrimack defensive intensity.
Bear spins out as he hits the deck here. Foul on Daughtry.
Tough shot. I mean, Daughtry, listen, this is a shot Merrimack's going to give him every single time. Just found a way to get it off glass with the left hand. And Daughtry's given them a good spark tonight. He's played well. 8 points on 4 of 4 shooting. Efficient for the senior.
Brogna. Kick ball called. That will reset the shot clock to 20. He was down to 7.
That's a break. Although we talked about Merrimack and their points per possession with the shot clock under 10. We saw a great example of that with Brogna hitting that triple moments ago with the shot clock at about 3.
And now Menard is incredulous. He thought Marrero, and that was Evan Burrows looking him down, saying, if you say something else, you're going to get teed up here. Menard smartly walked away.
Very good recognition there by Menard to not push things any further.
He thought he got dragged down by Marrero. Inbound comes to Brogna. Now back in the hands of Kennedy. Kennedy working on the big. Kabama right to the basket, floats it up and in. Tough take for Kennedy. He's got 17.
That's ridiculous. From his left, hanging in the air, swings it back to his right and finishes over the much taller defender.
It's a 13-point advantage, largest of the night for the Warriors. Blackwell, the hop step, back out, JCR to Menard. Now the drive from Menard going in amongst Brogna, another block, and then one from behind, but Brogna got him the second time with the foul. So Menard will head to the free throw line, try to close this gap just a little bit.
That's a great example of this zone just flying around. Menard attacking that long closeout. Brogna gets another block shot, but give Menard credit, stuck with it through the contact, and Brogna gets called for another personal. It's his third of the game, so notable one there for the Stonehill transfer.
Back to the line for Menard, who's 4 for 4 tonight at the line. As we told you earlier, fantastic free throw shooter on the year at 91%. They moved the inflatables to the other end, by the way, in case you were wondering.
Unbelievable. Look at that. You can see that in the top right of your screen. That's amazing. They moved them during the halftime festivities. They had the air dunkers. There they are. Look at our friends there. The inflatables bouncing about.
And Menard knocks down both.
It's funny. I happened to be watching St. John's play Butler, and I noticed the inflatables in Madison Square Garden. I was like, I've never seen that. And here we are, a couple days later, and they're here at Lawler Arena. Really, really good stuff by the crew and the staff and the administration here at Merrimack.
Can't say enough about what Joe Foley and his crew have done.
John getting paid by the mention of the athletic director's name here tonight. So kudos to you, my friend. That's 2 on your bingo card.
I can neither confirm nor deny. Shelton's going to step back to a 3, and he's going to bring the house to life. Back to a 13-point lead. Shelton's second knockdown from deep.
Oh, boy. When he gets us going, now you got a deflection and a takeaway.
Marrero and Kennedy running the other way. The lob for Dorsett, who lays it in with the foul. And now Ty a little slow to get back to his feet. But he'll have an N1 opportunity here in a moment. He looks good to go.
That's a great, just strangle you. And now, if you're Marist, you got to find a way to chip away. See if you get this back under 10, ideally. I think as you look at under 10 minutes left in this contest.
And right now, things are not trending the right way for them. 16-point lead for Merrimack.
And after looking so good offensively facing the zone, they have just been horribly disjointed.
Blackwell catch and shoot three, and that's a big knockdown. Much needed for Blackwell.
But again, I don't think that's a great set. It's just a guy making a great shot.
Right.
You know, I mean,
tested.
Yeah, I mean, that's well done. He's an elite player. But it's not like they ran anything. They just swung the ball around the perimeter. He knocks down a three.
Well, this is that part of the game, too, with the lead on the board that they have, where you're going to start to see Merrimack even slowing it down more than usual. Kennedy here, very deliberate. Dorsett, three-pointer! Another one for Ty Dorsett. He's in double figures, and the Warriors just continue to pound this Marist defense in this second half.
Merrimack has made 5 of their last 7 three-point attempts, and Dorsett continuing to impress, partner.
Merrimack is 8 for 9 on field goals here in the second half as Menard rattles one in.
That's amazing. And this offense, and we talked about Merrimack struggling to shoot it. It certainly has not been the case in the second stanza.
8 for 9, 3 for 4 from deep. It's a 14-point lead. Kennedy, Blackwell defending. Now down to 10. Kennedy starts inside the spin, and then Blackwell.
That's got to be an intentional foul.
Yeah, certainly does.
No play on the ball whatsoever there by Blackwell.
Yeah, that was a bit much, and Kennedy, who is normally very calm,
making sure that nothing happened that didn't need to.
Yeah, the officials have a little flexibility with those media timeouts, and the fact they decided to take it there.
Smart.
Good idea. Let tempers cool down a little bit.
Very smart.
Kennedy taking the free throws here. Makes the first. He's up to 18. 12:04 to go.
And again, living at the stripe, right? 18 points, 7 of 7 from the line. Johnny's got 18 points on 9 field goal attempts.
So he knocks down both. Merrimack will also have possession here.
Interesting discussion there between Joe Gallo and John Dunn, two guys that have an immense amount of respect for one another. Conversation, I think they're saying, hey, listen, we're good, got this under control.
Talk to my guys, you talk to your guys, we're all good.
Yep.
Inbound comes to Dorsett in the corner. The lead is matched, the largest of the night for the Warriors. Shelton on the drive with the contact, up and in. And one, the foul comes for Kabamba. Shelton puts it in and will head to the line for the three-point play.
So now you have an opportunity for a 5-point trip down the floor if Shelton, an outstanding free throw shooter, can complete the three-point play. John, his ability to use the dribble and attack long closeouts, because he's such a devastating three-point shooter, you've got to respect his ability to make that long-distance jump shot, sees the long closeout, rips right to left, downhill, comes back to his strong end, makes the tough shot.
And very rare to miss a free throw for Ernest Shelton, but he does not complete the three-point play. Two things as well. That flagrant ends up being the 16th foul against Marist. So that one they just picked was the 7th with 11:50 to go.
Todd Brogdon just got called for that over top, so that's Todd's 4th of the game, so he has to check out.
That's a great point.
He's played well. I mean, listen, he has not, his offensive game, he has been very accepting of his role. A guy who averaged double figures a year ago at Stonehill. He has just done everything else for this bunch this year, and it really speaks to his maturity that, you know, I think when he came over, Johnny expected to be one of their main offensive weapons, and it hasn't happened this year, and we have not seen him pout. The staff has raved about him. He's an outstanding facilitator. Talk about sort of a second point guard on the floor, second on the team in assists, and he's been really good for them, especially tonight on the defensive end.
Kennedy with the patience, the probing, getting to the line, the rim I should say, and a lay-in off the window to get him to 20+. And Merrimack leading by 3 points. They move to 11-3 overall in conference, rather 11-4 overall in the MAC. So both basketball teams here in North Andover getting it done this season. Great to see for Kelly Barone and that group.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Congratulations to them on another win, and a lot of excitement here in North Andover surrounding the basketball programs. And we haven't even talked about hockey being sold out tomorrow night, my man.
I know, it's a great time to be around this campus. Schofield wrestles the offensive rebound down. Daughtry running hook. Can't find its way down. The rebound tip to Schofield. He puts it in.
And that's exactly what you need to do if you're Marist. Get the ball to the rim and go get it. They get 3 opportunities. Finally, Schofield gets the third one to go. You're down by 20. Got to get stops on this end of the floor. They've not been able to do that. This Merrimack offense has just been on cruise control here in the second half.
Kennedy, by the way, has his 11th 20-point game of the season. That's in 26 total games.
You want to make your Player of the Year campaign once again, my friend?
Oh, he did in the first half, but why not in the second as he cooks his defender, kicks out to Dorsett. No good on the 3. Casey Uguakazi with the offensive rebound.
Long shot, long rebound. Nobody bodying and checking out Uguakazi from the offensive glass.
Now they reset up top with Marrero. Kennedy coming up there as well, but Marrero's going to stay on the ball. 2-man game with Uguakazi and an offensive foul called on the screen.
But again, you touched on it earlier. You bleed 50 seconds of actual clock off that trip down the floor with the offensive rebound by Uguakazi. Yes, he gets called for the illegal screen, but down by 18, Marist has got to find a way to increase the number of possessions. They've got to speed up Merrimack, because Merrimack's going to do that, John, unless you have an uncontested layup or a dunk. That's what they're going to do the final 10 minutes of this contest.
Blackwell. Menard inside. Nice step through, but Uguakazi. Nothing nice about that rejection. The first block of the evening for Uguakazi. And a little stare down for good measure.
Yeah, it's going to be a warning. You see the official going over the table after Uguakazi with the block, and then gets right in Menard's face, and Dorsett immediately pulled him away.
How good is Ty Dorsett at that specific role right there?
Yeah, actually,
just knowing where all his teammates are, what's going on with everybody.
How about, and the official actually went over to have the public address announcer, Ian Beauchene, announce about where the students had to remain in back of that end line. You see a good shot there. They can't get past the blue there you see on the end line there with Merrimack in the gold lettering. The official making sure that everybody's buttoned up down there. And yeah, you're absolutely right about Dorsett. Nice shot there by Schofield over that left shoulder, off that left shoulder. But you're absolutely right, John. Dorsett in his second year, the maturity, the leadership, really impressive to witness.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot this season, but it just seems like every game he's making at least 1 or 2 plays or has a moment like that where he's defusing a situation with a teammate, just knowing exactly what's going on. He's always so positive in his outlook as well in our post games. Here's Kennedy up top doing what he does.
It's been easy in our post games this year because they haven't lost a game at home, John.
It's true.
So
it's
always
point.
after a win.
That's a great point. That one goes over the backboard. So Marist is grinding here. It was at 20. They're down 16 now, 9+ to go.
Right, you get a couple of stops, you get a couple of baskets at the other end. Now can you continue to string together that combination and get this game down to single digits over the next couple minutes?
Not that time. Kennedy with the steal all the way down the floor, and a foul called. Menard is once again upset with the call on the floor.
Looked like a pretty good play live. I will say that. Another careless giveaway here by Menard, trying to throw over the top, and Kennedy just reaches up and grabs it out of the air. Well, that's a good play. You're keeping an eye on things, considering what happened previously with Blackwell. I thought Menard made a nice defensive play there.
So 2 more at the line. 8 of 8 so far for Kavera Kennedy. He's approaching his career high in made free throws for a game, which he's done a couple of times now at the 11.
It's going to be real close if he makes both here.
Exactly. Yeah. It's remarkable how often he gets to the free throw strike. 203 times now this season. Shots, I should say.
It's hard to describe in this era of college basketball and maturity and teams speaking about we need mature players, we need veterans, we need upperclassmen, that a true freshman point guard has come in and played at this level at a conference, speaking of the MAC, that is high level across the board, quality competition year in and year out, and it should be night in and night out. And what this young man has done, really special to watch.
Just missed his first, 9 of 10 now, and another kickball called. Got a lot of kickballs tonight. They'll stay with Marist, and they're going to check in JCR here, who's got 4 fouls.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of now or never time, right? I mean, I think that's the right decision. You got to make a push if you have any shot tonight over the next couple of minutes.
Looking for Schofield inside. Schofield working on Ubakazi, no good. It was altered a bit. Offensive rebound for Daughtry, and he's able to flip it up and in. Daughtry's got 10. There are 3 Red Foxes in double figures.
I've been very impressed with Daughtry tonight, doubling his season's average. He's got a knack for the ball, hanging around right spots, second opportunities, doing a good job.
Brissett drives left with the left off the glass, and one. Ty Dorsett puts it in with the foul.
Not sure this is a word, but he's slithery. The way he sort of slides through. Look at this. I mean, all right, here he is between the circles, rips right to left. There's not much space there, but he finds a way to get in, absorb the contact, and finish. John is actually looking up whether or not slithery is a word.
According to AI, it is. Describes something wet, smooth, or slippery that slides easily.
Let's go. Perfect. That's exactly how I meant it. All right, win tonight.
Couldn't complete the three-point play. JCR mid-range jumper, no good. Schofield offensive putback.
And that's what we talked about when I said they've got to get shots, because if you don't make it, you present yourself with an opportunity to get a second opportunity. As we saw right there, they've done a good job attacking the offensive glass over the last 3 minutes, getting second opportunities.
So the lead is down to 15. Ubakazi back to Kennedy, under 10 to shoot. McKenzie defending. Kennedy, step back, keeps his pivot, floats it up, no good. Daughtry has the rebound, and Ubakazi will get called for the whistle, the foul afterwards. 7:32 to go. Warriors led by as many as 20. They're up by 15.
Marist, their inability to sustain any momentum. When you dig yourself a 20-point hole, as they have, it's very tough to erase a margin like that. If you're Marist, you got to go here. I mean, it's a sort of a minute detail, but you got to get quick baskets.
Ubakazi is hoping for the rejection, but they're going to call the goaltending there, so McKenzie will get the 2 points.
That is challengeable. You see Mickey Burtnick immediately hop up over on that Merrimack sideline. Yeah, that got to the backboard. Good call. Right call.
We mentioned earlier the MAC, only game in the MAC tonight on the men's side. Tomorrow, some interesting matchups. You got Quinnipiac, Siena.
Big one.
Out at Siena. And then you've got St. Peter's Sacred Heart, probably the other one that most eyeballs will be on, with the Peacocks in the second spot right now in the conference. Here's Kennedy working on Blackwell. The handoff from Marrero now, keeps driving right off the window, puts it in.
First points in the second half from Marrero, becomes the 4th Warrior player into double figures.
Schofield, Daughtry, 6.5 to go. Blackwell faked the 3, drives inside, now kicks out. Daughtry, the pump. A lot of long possessions here for Marist. McKenzie from the corner came up short.
It's a great example of the zone defense, just swarming, forcing extra passes, closing out and recovering, and altering a 3 in the corner. He comes off the mark, and now Merrimack plenty content to be extremely patient in the half court.
I think Evan Burrows just called his own timeout.
Something's on the floor
wet
over
spot
there.
On the floor.
Yep.
So they'll take care of this up top now. Merrimack will have to inbound here. 17 on the shot clock. Brogna will check in for Marrero.
Poor young woman over there doing her part, and Evan Burrows grabbing a towel, saying, I got this. John, I'm running out of words, adjectives to describe this Merrimack team at both ends, especially here at home.
How about Jimmy Langhurst out there doing a little toweling as well?
All hands on deck tonight.
Nobody's above getting the towel out to wipe down the floor.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar, this is obviously the home of the Merrimack men's women's ice hockey programs. Yep. It does cover a nice surface here at Lawler. Ice hockey, the men's team will be in action hosting recently crowned Beanpot champion.
That's right.
Boston College tomorrow night.
Up on your
sold-out atmosphere
Boston
here at Lawler.
area puck. We love to hear it. Jump ball is called as Schofield got a lot of that one. Casey Okazi going up with it. It does go back to the Red Fox here. 2 ticks under 6 minutes to go.
And if you're Marist, you got to go quickly here. You got to get points almost every trip down the floor. You've got to increase the pace. You've got to find a way to increase flat out the number of possessions there are the rest of the way.
There's Schofield to the left. Tough take, no good. Shelton with a rebound. And he came down hard on top of Miles Parker. Excuse me, that's JCR who was in there.
I think that's his fifth. I mean, he just fouled out of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're going to get him for the bump. And I don't mind the attack by Schofield. Listen, Ugukazi did an outstanding job sliding, challenging the shot. You see the collision there, going for that rebound. But Schofield trying to make a play for his team, and just as we talked about, right? We don't have time to swing the ball around the perimeter and take 15, 20, 25 seconds off trying to make a play, but well defended there by Ugukazi.
Shelton goes back to the line. Somewhat quiet night for Shelton, who is the 6th leading scorer in the conference at 16 points per game. Still has 11 after that made free throw.
Got off to a slow start, as we touched on, but picked it up as of late. And what I like, what I've seen from his game, we've talked about it, attacking more, seeking the rim and finding a way to get downhill, not just setting. Outstanding three-point shooter. We've known that since he stepped foot on this campus over the summer. But his ability to use the dribble to generate his offense has grown and grown.
Blackwell, the feed into Schofield. Now Parker, Uguakazi with the rejection right to Schofield, who cleans it up. It's a 15-point lead with 5+ to go. Back in the hands of Dorsett. Warriors will try to take this down under 5. Get really methodical with their possessions. Joe Gallo still telling Ty Dorsett, wait. Now starts, walks into a 3, got fouled. And Menard has felt like he's taken the bad end of a couple bad calls tonight. He gets called on the 3-point foul now.
How about this rejection by Uguakazi here? I think he got an easy one after the pump fake. No, sir. Schofield Johnny on the spot there with a putback. And here's Dorsett here. See Menard, that late closeout. You jump towards the shooter. Got those feet going forward. And he's got to have space to land. And Dorsett to the line for 3.
By the way, Schofield has his first double-double of the year.
Damn.
And just his second of his career.
This kid played against Merrimack every game. He might be Conference Player of the Year.
I was going to say, he didn't have the double-double last year against Merrimack. He did that against Canisius, but he's had his career high in points with 17, and now he has his second career double-double, his first of the season, as Dorsett's no good on the second. And
again, we've talked about this. You told the story earlier, Joey Gallo said we're going to give up something in the face of the zone. We don't want to give up uncontested threes, and this is where they can have some success.
Now Schofield with the pass down to Daughtry, no good on the reverse finish, and Uguakazi has it. And again, this is going to be very deliberate for Merrimack here with 4:45 to go and a 16-point lead on the board.
And he doesn't get credit for a block there, but Uguakazi flying in there, altering that shot. I think normally he just goes up with the right hand and lays it up in, if not tries to dunk it, but Uguakazi's presence altering the shot.
Brogna inside, back out for Kennedy, blow by of Blackwell, lost it late, found Brogna. I don't think that was intentional at all. Did they call a shot clock violation?
Oh, wow.
Again, Mickey Burdick right over to the tablet to look.
That was
And he's also now back on the bench. That man has his team out to an 18-point lead with 4+ minutes to play.
Happy belated. Our guy celebrated a birthday over the weekend.
Happy belated indeed. Hoping to continue this streak. Kennedy with the takeaway. In transition, Blackwell, great hustle to get back down the floor to prevent an easy one. Kennedy kind of stumbled initially as well.
Says a lot about Blackwell right there. Not giving up on the play. I mean, down by 18, you could say, forget it, right? Not giving up there. Couldn't save it because his momentum carried him out of bounds. And will be Merrimack didn't have the ball. And Kaveri Kennedy frustrated with himself that lost an easy one in transition.
Blackwell, a guy who's played a lot of college basketball, his first year with Marist, 2 most recent seasons at South Carolina Aiken, but his 4th overall school. Florida Southwest and McNeese State also in the mix.
Talented guy. He's got a lot of gifts. He's got great elevation on his jump shot. And getting his first start of the year tonight because of the injury to Lewis.
Kennedy back out. Marrero the three on the way.
When it rolls with this group, it rolls in waves. And right now, unfortunately for Marist, they just run into a buzzsaw.
Largest lead of the night with 3.5 to play. A foul call on the floor at the other end. Jacob, Merrimack is on a 4-game winning streak. They've averaged a margin of victory in these 4 games, 17 points. And they're up by 21 here with 3.5 to go. And some of these teams are the best teams in the conference.
Well, and again, right, John, I mean, this conference is so evenly matched any given night. We've seen, top teams go down to bottom teams in terms of the standings. And my goodness.
How about this welcome to North Andover for Jordan Gabriel, by the way. First minutes at the line with that going on in front of him.
That's a great point. But you're right. I mean these waves, the 4 straight average margin, as you just touched on, better than 17, and looks like we're trending that way once again here tonight.
20-point lead.
It's interesting, the second half is the way we've seen most of the first halves play out as of late here in Lawler Arena in North Andover, but this Merrimack group in the second half, we'll talk to Joe Gallo after the game, but coming off a great performance against Ryder, carrying it over again tonight.
Dorsett late find of Ugo Kazi to kick out. Sheldon all alone in the corner. No good. And Kennedy on the follow could not come down with it. A foul called on the floor. That will be against Kennedy and send Marist down the floor to the line.
Start looking forward to this weekend, my friend, at preseason favorite Quinnipiac. That is a massive game on the horizon. Marist with a big one at Siena. It's crunch time, and here we go mid-February. Talking about seeding, talking about where you belong in the conference tournament, where you end up, and Merrimack with another big win here tonight. They will maintain their conference lead.
Right back in the line is Jordan Gabriel. Now 9 for 20 on the season, 9 for 21 at the line. It's a 20-point lead under 3 to play. Ball in the hand for Merrimack. You said it, a huge one coming up this weekend. They'll have the luxury of the extra day rest. But you're getting to the point now where Merrimack not only would like to be one of those top seeds, they'd like to be the top seed. Uguakazi with the exclamation point. And a timeout as Joe Gallo is going to empty his bench here at home.
From, all right, fun atmosphere to becoming really one of the tougher places, if not the toughest place. There's one team that's undefeated at home this year, and it's this Merrimack bunch right now.
It's incredible to see what they would be able to do this year. And of the players out there, by the way, a lot of guys that we've seen in very limited action, but Ali Cisse is out there. His first appearance since the Princeton game earlier this year. Only appeared in 10 games. Has missed some time, and Jalen Stinson getting in on the action, the mid-range knockdown.
Look at the bench, loving it. You love to see those guys cheering for these guys like they do for them throughout the course of the game. And we've talked about how connected this group is, John. It's really a big part of their success this year.
Brandon Legris looking to get in on the action defensively. Gabriel is able to put one in. It is not this easy to win basketball games this level by this much, as routinely as Merrimack has done it lately, and it's a real big testament to what that man, this group, and the guys on the floor have been able to do this season.
He told us during the week that we asked him about sort of like, how's practice been? He said, they're having as much fun, they're going as hard as I've ever seen a team compete.
Stinson looking for more, look for the floater, no good. By the way, it should be noted as well, saw him in the first half. Cisse, Legris, doesn't matter who you want to give that one to. We saw Brendan Johnson in the first half. He's making his home debut. Vallette with a reverse finish. Boy, everybody's getting involved here, and Merrimack leads by 24. I think we need to go back to that line of demarcation one more time. Since it was 20 to 10, Merrimack trailing. They've outscored this Marist team 70 to 36.
This Marist team allows 62.5 points per game, and Merrimack has 80 on the board. You've got to go back to their loss against Auburn back on November the 6th. the last time that Marist allowed this many points.
That is remarkable.
This is a statement win. The last one was a statement win. The one
They've
prior
all
to
been
that,
statement wins here.
But this is a good Marist basketball team. Now again, the injury to Elijah Lewis definitely alters their personnel. We spoke about that earlier. But this is a Marist team that grinds you, that their defense keeps them in games. And Merrimack was lights out in the second half and dominated this game.
Merrimack beat Quinnipiac here on the 17th of January by 12. They beat St. Peter's here on the 24th by 8. They beat Sacred Heart here by 17 on the 1st. And they're going to beat this Marist team by 20-plus here this evening as they'll dribble out their final possession. Joe Callow is shaking his head no right now at Brendan Johnson. I think they're going to take the turnover here. Johnson, I think, wants his first home points.
Yeah, I think a shot clock violation. You see Brendan with his hands extended. And Joe Gallo saying, no, we don't do that here. Too much respect for Marist and John Dunn, his staff, and his student athletes.
For Marist, by the way, they'll turn around and play another tough one this weekend. They'll be at home for Siena, with another top team in the conference. And this one was obviously close early, but Merrimack completely flipped the script. They win this one by 25, 81